Welcome to the pilot episode of Wes Paul Unoccupied. I've got way too much time on my hands, no occupation, and so I figured I'd just hang out in the studio here and check out some of the gear I have, post it online. Not really reviews, but just more demos to let you hear how some of the stuff kind of sounds in case you're thinking of making a purchase. Yes, I'm Wes Paul. That is my name. I chose it and call myself whatever I want. You can call yourself whatever you want too. I'm going to call myself Wes Paul. That is my name. Technically. Anyways, today we're going to be checking out the Vibe Machine V2 by Drybell. It's a great pedal that was a result of a month or two of me searching for a Vibe pedal. I looked at a lot of different options that, I was going for that old Univibe sound, the original Univibe. Those are big, expensive units, and my experience with vintage gear has been that a lot of times they sound warmer and more analog, but they are older and can be or could be prone to problems or noise more so than newer stuff. So I was looking for something new that's not going to cost me $1,000. And I came across the Vibe Machine after looking at the EHX Good Vibe and the MXR Univibe and the Deja Vibe from Full Tone. And all of those were pretty good. EHX didn't work with Voodoo Labs pedal power, and it's on their website that it doesn't. That just really kind of bothered me. That pedal was buzzy and didn't really like it anyway. But a lot of the vibes that I look at tend to have a lot of top end, which adds harshness. And anybody that knows me from my other show, the ATX Gear Show, where we do more of the review type stuff, knows I don't dig on the top end harsh kind of sound. I find it hurts my ears. I like things to sound warmer and more analog and a little smoother. So the Drybell won that competition for me because it's got all these trim knobs on the side that really enable you to dial in the sound that you want and to dial in the pedal functionality to work in your rig. You can dial in the impedance, the overall volume, the grit, which is basically a gain on the level itself on the signal, which can, make it gritty, a little sharper if you want. The chorus knob allows you to dial in the overall harmonic richness of the chorus sound itself. And then you have my favorite, the range and symmetry knobs. The range knob allows you to basically dictate what the range of the modulation is, from as open wide as you can get it, meaning from as low as the pedal will allow you to go to as high as the modulation will go, or you can squash it anywhere in between. The symmetry allows you to place that range anywhere on the frequency spectrum that you like. So if you want to hear your modulation in a narrower range happen more towards the top end of the spectrum and leave the bottom end untouched, you can do that. I tend to run mine with the range a little bit shorter, not too short, but fairly narrow. And then the symmetry turned down to where most of the modulation is occurring in the mid-low, low-mid to low to mid frequency, and maybe the high-mid just a little bit. I like to keep the modulation out of the high end of the spectrum as much as possible and keep the modulation focused down low. So let's check it out. I'll go back and play a couple of things for you in context. I know you'd like to hear it maybe on its own, but I like to hear things in context, what it could sound like in a particular rig. So for the demos, I'll be running it in my rig. It'll be going into the Vibe Machine, into a delay unit, into a chorus, and then out to my Fender Vibrolux reverbs. In the front of my chain, I'll be running a Boss CS3 compressor, which is an all-the-time on pedal that I have because it makes everything just sounds so good. And then if I do some distortion stuff, I'll probably try like a Ram's Head Big Muff and see how that works with the vibe. So let's check it out. All right, well, there it is, the Vibe Machine V2 by Drybell. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're looking to purchase one, they're available on many stores for $299.99, or you can get them used for less. Is it worth $299? That's completely up to you. I did my research and found that it wasn't as much as a vintage pedal by far, but it had the features and analog warm quality that I was looking for that some of the other cheaper ones didn't have. So I thought it was a good balance in price between getting something old and expensive that probably sounds great versus getting something like an MXR Univibe that doesn't sound very great at all. It also has an expression pedal output on it, which I failed to mention earlier. So if you want to adjust the speed of the Univibe with any expression pedal, you can do that. I'm using an Ernie Ball, and that goes straight into the pedal with a TRS cable and allows me to change the speed. There are some settings you can change on the pedal using combinations of the knobs and button presses, and there's a whole manual for that. I had to do that to set up the pedal to work with it. Wasn't very complicated, but just something you should know. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. I'm gonna try to post a new one of these videos every week. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and look forward to new content. Later.